And for pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Morandi,
I am here.
Trustee Early,
Yes.
Trustee Miller,
Here.
Trustee Murphy,
Here.
and Trustee Veloto.
Here. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our monthly meeting, the last one of our 2018 season. We'll start off with a police report, which then will go into a recognition. So, Larry?
Good evening, everybody. For the month of November, we had no arrests. We had 67 calls for service. We had 26 moving violations, 49 parking violations, for a total of 75 summonses. Just want to reiterate what I did last month to the residents to make sure that they lock their car doors on their property and their doors in general. We still have no further information on the larcenies from the vehicles that were last month. If you see anything suspicious whatsoever that looks out of place, please call us immediately so we can investigate. I checked with the intel report that we had over with the county, and so far the suspects are still out there. They haven't had them in Lake Peekskill, and they didn't get anything to Continental Village as of yet. Also with that, if you are going away, if people are doing their snowbird thing, please fill out the dark house so we can check your house with all proper information on it, on a contact number in case we need to get a hold of you. And my officers will go by a couple times during the shifts to make sure everything's locked up. That's it. Any questions?
Go ahead. No.
We have snow season coming up, and there are people that continue to park their cars on the road, making it difficult for the highway crew to do a good job. So when we have a snowstorm, if you could remind your officers to get out and ticket those cars that are parked.
Yep, as soon as I hear from Bugsy that he wants everybody off the roads, they do some snow plowing, cleaning up, I'll put it out on the telephone line. I'll make sure my guys are out there, and we'll take it in, possibly tow if we have to, if they're in a emergency spot where we really need to get something, and we'll take care of that. Not a problem.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
Last thing, while we're here, Larry's been trying kind of in vain to get a new car. Seems like white cars are all the rage these days, and so we haven't been able to get one on our, through the bid process. Larry can get one that we could purchase that's black and have the doors painted white. It could be a black and white, and with
a cookie,
and then with the insignia on it or with our logo on it. I don't know if you guys, I don't know how long it's gonna take. We're kind of on hold, so that was one option there. There were a few others that we mentioned, but kind of fell through.
Yeah, with the vehicle, it's a nationwide problem. The NYPD cannot get white Explorers. I have a friend of mine who works for them. He works for the K-9 unit. They ordered 16 white Explorers. They are now going to other cars because Ford they cannot get white vehicles. I spoke to the county. Putnam County also is waiting on a back order for a white Explorer. They are not getting theirs. So it's an actual ongoing problem that we have. We have a couple of choices. Again, we could try to get it'll be a 2018. That's the only thing. It won't be a 19 because we put an order in for a 2019 white Explorer in September. I contacted the dealer pretty much every week when we get the car, how's it look? And they kept saying, oh, still in the factory, we're waiting. And then a couple weeks ago, they gave me the bad news of they have no idea when the vehicle is going to be actually made. So the choices we have is trying to get a 2018 black one for the same price and then possibly paint the doors because the price of painting an entire vehicle is very expensive. The doors I can probably get painted up at Mako or another vendor. I have to do 3 bids to make sure we get the lower bid out of the 3 bids. That's a state rule. I can do that and have them painted so we'd have an old school white and black car, and I would make it look very professional. I'd make sure that they put our logo on the side, police everything on it. Or we just go through the winter with one 4x4 vehicle, which I don't want to do because right now all we have is the Tahoe. Our old Explorers of 2006, and we pumped enough money into that. I do not want to pump any more money into that vehicle. It seems that we put in a Band-Aid on for a week, it runs, and then the next week I have to put a tourniquet on it. And just money is going out the door into that vehicle.
Is there an advantage to having white police cars?
It seems to be the rage now with the white vehicle. If you have a fleet that's older like ours, because we don't turn them over as quick as we can, your last vehicle will be 8 or 9 years old. So with a black vehicle, if you go through brush over the years, you go through something, it scrapes, you get things, and it doesn't look good. It looks old and abused after a number of years, which then you try to go get it painted or try to, freshen it up a little bit. White vehicles tend to not, you don't see it as much on them, as you use them. I've gone over everything. There's everything between painting, between the new wraps that they do now, where you can get a vehicle and you can wrap it any color you want. I spoke to a company that does that, and they suggested the only way you do that is if you keep a vehicle for 3 years, because the wrap fades, and then it will cost more money to take the wrap off. So it's all about, trying to do the best I can with the budget we have. And like I said, if we do go the winter, which I'd rather not, with just one 4x4 vehicle, if we get a couple of really bad snowstorms, we'll be running the Tahoe pretty much 24/7, and that vehicle is now got 45,000 miles on it, and we'll be abusing that vehicle. So,
Is the 2018, can we get that or no?
I have to double check with Michelle, cause it has to go through that, again, she knows all the rules and regs on the state bid, we already had gone through the state bid process. From what I'm understanding, that once you do that state bid process, because it's specifically a dealer got that bid, that we'd have to do it all over again, which would mean more paperwork, another 3 bids out, it may take another month, just to get an okay of a vehicle. Then it would take another month to get it and then upfit it with all our police equipment in it. So that's where there's not one day has gone by in the past month that I haven't tried to get something. And try to stay within the means of the budget and the rules that the state gives us.
So the black one, if we get it, will have the right tires that you were talking about the other day and all the equipment and everything?
It will be, just like the white one is, it'll just be black, that's all. And we'll have the
And that
same
one-
equipment that we have in it for the same price.
That one's still a couple months away.
That one, I could, I gotta double check with Michelle on that, we can maybe move a little quicker on that. I'd have to see if the bid that we did, if that would be okay, if it's a black vehicle instead of a white one. I just gotta double check with her on that, cause I'm not sure on the bidding process, the way it's done. Cause I know we did bids for, other vehicles in the village, highway, I think had to do some bids for their vehicles, so we gotta make sure that we're, within the law.
Okay, well, people's feeling on black and white? The black one we have, it's gonna be like $1,200 or whatever to paint, right?
I'm trying to get them to, under 1,000, but it looks like it's gonna be about between $900 and $1,200. And they will paint the four doors, so you'd have a black and white car. They have them up in Beacon, they actually look very professional. We're not just trying to get something out on the road, do not wanna not look professional. And the way the graphics would be on it, I can make sure that happens.
Can we get a photo of that somehow from?
Yep, I have some upstairs for, actually Yonkers runs a black and white vehicle, and I have some photos I will give to you guys so you can look at
Okay,
them.
yeah, all right, now make a quick decision. Or is anyone feeling right now?
I have no problem with black and white.
No, agreed, no problem.
Seems
Get
like
whatever you
going
can
out
get.
for a white car is like being slave to fashion.
Yeah, it's, I
Let's
can't
get the
believe
black
that
one and
Ford's
get it
not
on the
making,
road.
I mean, like I said, it's
I
a
don't-
whole issue going on.
Logically, I can't figure out why if they can make a black car, they can't just paint them white, but that's.
Nope, I'm in agreement with you. I've made many phone calls, believe me.
Ford wants to do what Ford wants to do, I guess. Yeah, I have no problem with whatever you can get.
Okay.
The one thing with the insignia or whatever, I definitely don't want, that last one we had, police, that looks like, I don't know what.
That, once I get the other vehicle, on both of them, I'm gonna make sure they go down together and they both get
Can we
marked
go-
the same. They're
Can
gonna-
we go
that's gonna-
back to our logo or? we-
Absolutely, I'm gonna take them
That's what I'll
totally
do.
off. It's just gonna have like we have on the Tahoe or on the other car, it's gonna be police, Cold Spring up in the red in the left-hand side. And with the red in it, it's gonna look just like that.
I mean, but will there be the logo, the village logo on there? I think we used to have that on
The
there.
village logo, I would put on, I would make it a little bit
On the
smaller
door.
and put it on the top of the door, like up in the corner, because if you do a big giant logo like that, again, with going through brush or going through where to answer some calls,
How are you going through all this brush?
it's, you're gonna have it for 6, 7 years. There are
There's
very
no
rural,
brush in Gulf.
there are very rural areas around here that you have to go to, some dirt roads and
That
stuff,
way I can't find you at night.
things like that. You can always find me, you know that.
I know that. All right, I guess it's a consensus of board to move ahead, so what do we have to do? Get a vehicle?
Thank you.
Good.
That's it for me. Anything else?
No, I mean, we'll just go to recognition if you wanna
Yep.
say anything. I asked, over the summer, we had Nico as our parking enforcer, and I was completely impressed with him, and whenever I saw him, he was doing a great job. I walked down street, I caught up to him walking, and he just walks and like kind of pretty much about-faced, walk down the street. I saw him wherever I went, and which is unusual, as sometimes I can't find the police at all. Sorry, Larry, but that's the truth. And but I could always find Nico, and it was we have a fairly big stretch here. If you're walking all day, from all the way down the river, and then all the way to the red light, turning around and on back streets, and doing his job. I mean, I never saw him once not doing his job, and I could find him every time. And I thought that was pretty impressive, and so that's why I invited you here tonight. I just wanted to let you know from. From the board, I think we've all had the experience of having a great experience with you, and you're kind of an ideal employee. And I think one of the other things it's most impressive is I don't think we had one negative call or whatever, which we've had in the past with people, and we stopped doing parking enforcement because of kind of like, some backlash from people. People aren't happy with tickets or getting a ticket for parking or whatever. We never heard anything bad, not one that I know of. Larry could tell me differently, but and I think that's really the most impressive thing. But we do really appreciate the work you did for us this summer. It was really good having you. It's definitely helpful. You definitely brought in some money for us too, so that's always a bonus. But it really was a pleasure having you. And I personally wish you all the luck in the world with where you're going. If you need a job next summer, no doubt we would hire you back. We do have a small certificate of excellence from the village. Village Goldspring Certificate of Excellence is hereby given to Nico Delavala. Is that correct or no?
Delaval.
What is that?
Delaval?
Delavala?
Delaval.
For outstanding performance and dedication, parking enforcement. So this is just a small token. And also I did a referral or a recommendation if you ever need something for a job. It's here, so, thanking you and giving you some high praise. So thank you very much, and
Thank you.
best of luck again. Nice to meet you. Have a great summer.
Action shot.
I don't know if this is.
Thank you.
You can leave at any time. You do not have to stay here.
I just told him that.
Shouldn't be punished.
Yeah, there'll be more of
We'll be
a
fast tonight.
And you should definitely be proud of your son. He's
I am very proud of him, yeah. I'm
Great.
a former NYPD detective myself over 21 years. So he's kind of like in my footsteps, but not, and he's always been great like that. I'm really proud of him.
whatever he does, I think he's gonna do really well. His attitude is perfect, so thanks. Thank you for coming again.
Thank you.
Okay, monthly reports, we're really low on these, this month, which is kind of okay, because we'll get out of here earlier. But we do have to talk to some of the board chairs about the reports. Rec Commission, I did hear from Ruth Ann they haven't met since last. They would like to have a meeting with us, maybe before our next meeting at 6:45 or 7 on the 18th to discuss that one wine application. The application for the
Yeah.
festival, they kind of, need a little guidance or would like to kind of work with us on that, so.
Next summer,
I thought we had said to go forward with it, but she wants to.
Yeah, she was expecting that we were doing it.
Okay, I mean, I didn't
There
know
were
if
some
it was clear
formalities.
as far as
So we meet with her.
the fees and everything, so. It might, so can we do that for 7 o'clock?
6:45.
Yeah, we're scheduled for 7.
Oh, we are, so, okay, 6:45?
Right.
It shouldn't take long at all.
And what was the date, Dave?
The 18th.
Thank you.
Planning board, we do not have anything, don't know if they're there. Zoning board, nothing,
They
and
meet.
don't know. Bob?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you. Okay, first I'd like to congratulate Trustee Miller of Vallotto for your re-election.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Bob.
Congratulations on that. Second, I just want to let you know we did approve the 2019 budget of $11,244,019. This is under 2% tax cap and about $100,000 under. under the budget. So we did a good job on budget wise and keep our taxes where we're supposed to be. Also too, we're in the process of appointing a person to replace Nancy Montgomery. As you know, Nancy just won election for the county legislator. Can't really name any names at this particular time, but during the process, very good chance it would be like to be a female, most likely it would be. I'd say that much. I can't give you any names at this particular time. They had about 4 candidates that were interested in the position. We're also, we're still in court regarding the cell tower up on Route 9. I talked about this quite a few times already, but we're in court right now. They gave us an alternate location up on Route 9, and we asked for a balloon test, and that balloon test was pretty bad. It was 190 feet, it was very close to Route 9, and you could see that balloon pretty far away. So that alternate location really wasn't much value, to be quite honest. So we're not, at this point, we're just gonna go with we're still in court, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. Last week, we were thinking about changing the zoning, which we still may, up in the Magazzino area there, to have art gallery museum. Well, we kind of tabled it because I brought up the point that it does open a door for them to become a nonprofit. And we don't really want to become a nonprofit and lose the taxes. Richard was gonna have a private call with them and see if we can work something out. And if they're still willing to pay taxes and maybe not become a nonprofit, we may make the change at that particular time. But we were gonna move on it last week, but we decided we're better off tabling at this particular time. Moving ahead with the town hall, right now we have to get somebody in there to investigate the asbestos in there. So that's gonna be done over the next few weeks. Once that is done, then we can actually go out to bids and get some bids for this. It's gonna be, the town hall is probably gonna end up closing for almost a year, the way we're looking at everything. We probably have to get some modular spaces in the parking lot possibly, maybe use the hall behind it, what's that, the other one there.
American Legion.
American Legion, we might be talking to them, see if we can use some space in there, it's a possibility, we don't know yet. But we have a lot of work to do before we get moving on that. But the bid should be hopefully going out, I would hopefully say early next year. Also too, we're moving ahead with solar panels down in the recreation department. First thing I had to do, I had engineers down there, of course, but before that, I had to get the electrical bill changed from the Garrison Institute to Phillips Sound Recreation. It took a few months to get that done. We finally got it done last month. So I was supposed to meet the solar guys down there again, hopefully Monday next week, to see if we can move forward too. Also too, with Christmas season coming on, I'd like to encourage everybody to give Toys for Tots. I thought I saw a box out here one day, no? Anyway, there's one down in Putnam County News, I think there's one in the Food Town. Hardware, yep, C&E has one there, that's where I saw it. So anyway, I'd like to encourage people, there's a lot of unfortunate kids in our community, and Anthony Phillips does a great job with those toys and getting them out to the kids that actually really need them.
Bobby, excuse me a second?
What?
Do you need the highway department to collect all those? Because normally in the past, we always have.
Oh, I've talked to Anthony Phillips,
Okay.
I'm just trying to encourage people to
Okay.
go out, but he would be the guy to talk to about that.
You got it.
So, again, also too, wish everyone in your families a happy, holiday season, may it be safe and merry. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, Bob, I got one question for you. Was the tower always gonna be that tall, 190
No.
feet?
If it went up further up on the hill, it was gonna be like 140 to 160.
Oh, okay.
But being down, that was gonna be down lower, it needed to be 190 feet.
I see.
Yeah.
I was gonna mention at the beginning of the meeting also, my condolences to the loss of your father-in-law, Angelo Perk, who, if everyone knows, is a great guy, in my opinion, and many others, is really a gentleman and a decent individual who, one of our last World War II vets, so I think he was 94?
94. Yeah.
94, services Thursday, I believe.
Thursday, 5 to 8, and the funeral was on Friday at 11.
Anyway, I'll miss Angelo. Used to be his paper boy, and stayed in touch over the years. So, I'll miss Angelo. And again, please pass along my condolences.
Thanks
to your
for
family.
moving the board for that.
Historic District Review. I do not think we have anything from them. Definitely stuff going on there, though. Fire Company, Steve.
No report was given.
They've requested a meeting regarding them becoming a district in our interest, and so I thought maybe the best thing to do is have them come in and give us you know, facts or whatever their basis is for doing that, or how that would be, an improvement over the conditions we have today, or better for the residents. So, Fran and I were just talking just briefly today, maybe, first week in February, if that works for everyone. We'll set a meeting with them,
Or not
like a
sooner.
workshop meeting.
Or not sooner.
Well, I think how much time are we gonna have? I'm fine with sooner, I don't know
January.
where.
I wasn't thinking December, I
Well,
was
we definitely
thinking
not the
January.
second week, so,
No, you're right, we skip a meeting, yeah, okay, February.
I don't think it's you know, it's
Yep.
not a bonus. So, if we could set that for, the first week in February,
You want me to
at a workshop.
ask Jeff to contact him?
Yeah, sure. Tree advisory, we do not have anything. I think I mentioned last week, the first round of tree cutting, that we approved, is going forward, so a number of big trees have been taken down. I'm not sure what's left on Phillipstown Tree's been doing the work. Next code update, I think you're the only one.
There happens to be a report from the Code Update Committee. So in the month of November, the Code Update Committee conducted 2 meetings. An approach was agreed to in the committee concerning the topic of evaluate/permitting of conservation subdivisions after consultation with our consultant, Ted Fink of Green Plan. An approach was also agreed to on the topic of evaluating/permitting of outright demolition of existing structures. Progress is made on the remaining Phase 4 topics of evaluate/permitting of conservation and facade easements, amend subdivision requirements, and evaluate adopting a waterfront consistency review law. The monthly conference call with NYSERDA was conducted. NYSERDA provided no negative feedback. NYSERDA has approved the checkpoints of 1.2L and 1.2M, which are the 12th and 13th quarterly contract management and progress reports respectively, covering the periods April 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2018, and July 1st, 2018 through September 30th, 2018, along with the associated minutes for the meetings held during those 2 periods. A document containing minutes of the public input session number 3 was provided to NYSERDA. They will recommend approval of that upon receipt and review of the Code Update Committee's invoices for that checkpoint.
Thank you. Greg called in not too long ago, he will not be here, obviously. Further, I'll read his report for the Water Department Monthly Operations Report. We recently demolished the old chlorination shed on the DEP property on Fishkill Road and have insulated the vault protecting the piping and valve underneath. The plan has always been to complete the demolition when our larger project took place, but portions of the roof had collapsed, so we took care of it now. Our engineer is working on another project design which will incorporate the new location which DEP has directed us to use for the connection. I have reached out to the NYC DEP regarding a letter sent by the village in September and have yet to receive a response. We're working with Tectonic Engineering to identify the next steps to be undertaken with respect to the Upper Dam Rehabilitation Project. Wastewater Department Monthly Operation Report. Numbers, which I'm not going to read. There's nothing to report for this month. Building Department, we have application and permit fees collected in November, $1,125. Title search fees collected $75 for a total of $1,200.
On that topic, the report says that this is title search fees. Title search fees are typically done by a company who goes through the legal documents to determine if there are any liens against the property, who the owners of the property are. What this is a search of municipal records to determine whether or not there are any outstanding building permits, whether or not certificates of occupancy have been approved, etc. So I'd recommend, and if people are in agreement, that we change this to municipal search fees, which are collected.
I agree, sure. Highway Department.
Good evening, folks. For the month of November, we had 75.340 tons of garbage. Recycling weighed in at 17.55 tons for the month of November. This month, November, we removed flags from the poles to preserve them. Been blowing and sucking leaves up into piles, fixed gutter in the back of the office, and ripped up carpet. 2 new steps were put in on the iron stairs, and a third one was secured a little better. Hung the wreaths with the county's assistance. Picked up a dethatcher and installed on the zero turn for rec department. New toolbox was installed on the back of the 2011 Ford F-350. Serviced both salters on the yellow International dump truck, and in time for 10 inches of snow that we received on the 15th and 16th. We installed new hydraulic tank and pump on the yellow International truck as well. We had to weld new patches on the leaf vacuums volute to cover holes created by rocks being vacuumed up. For the month of December, we're looking to finish cleaning up leaves and patch any potholes on the streets. Get ready for winter. I have one employee who is, his final day is tomorrow. Jacob is going to Yorktown, so we're all wishing him well. Other than that, I met with Mike Lyons today. Seems like a really good kid. And as far as what we've gotten for applications so far, I'm recommending him to replace Jake, with your consent, of course.
Which Mike Lyons is this? Is this Mike Lyons'
Young
son?
Mike Lyons, yeah.
It is?
Yes,
Oh,
well,
so
yes,
he's a Van Tassel?
yes, he is.
Yes.
No, he's a Lyons.
What is what?
but his mother's a big.
His mother's a Van Tassel, he's a Van Tassel. Oh, that's good.
So, there was one other that I, both, yeah, go ahead.
I interviewed him today with Bugsy, and I found that he was very good. And, came across very well, looked like he was ambitious, and I guess, he comes with very good recommendations, and he works both with, John Van Tassel, and he's a volunteer firefighter in North Highlands, and up for, I believe he said junior captain or something?
He's going up for, I think, first lieutenant. I also would throw my name in the hat, I think he'd be an excellent hire for the village. He's a very, very good young man. I've known him now for 4 years at the firehouse. Nothing but respectful and nothing but always there, always training, always on time.
You can do carpentry work too.
And he can do carpentry
Yes,
work.
he's a good carpenter.
Yeah, I think that's really a bonus that he has worked for Johnny for quite a while, so he probably knows his way around tools, so
Yes.
that'll be a huge bonus.
And I figured if he wasn't available, we could always ask him, because he sounds really good. I'll teach him how to plow.
So is he a nephew or a cousin to you?
I guess he'd be cousin,
Yeah. I mean, he's a cousin to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to small town America.
He'd be in that second cousin, because Terry's a first cousin.
Yes, yes.
So is everyone comfortable with the recommendations
Yes.
to move that ahead?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'll make a motion to hire Mike Lyons, is he junior, Mike Lyons Junior? Right?
Not
The
It must
first
be.
application,
Did he?
he did not.
He did not? Oh, well, to hire the Mike Lyons that we interviewed today, as a employer for the highway department, starting salary of $16 per hour, I believe, and benefits.
He'll be happy with that.
Do we have a second? What's that?
Second.
I'll second.
Oh, Fran's
sorry.
got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now we just have to get some CDL licenses.
Michael's applying for
Zach
his
is
permit.
going for his license tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Okay, well, we'll
So you got a truck?
start lighting some vigil lights or whatever you do. It's
We'll
like,
make a novena.
Novena is
Like
like.
We'll say a
Well,
rosary. We'll say a
Well,
rosary.
Mike is applying for his permit to go for a CDL on Friday, so he said he would pursue that.
Okay. Has Mike ever done any plowing?
No, he is not, but it's one of the lesser things to teach.
Okay.
It's actually quite simple.
Okay,
Few basic rules to follow, and it's easy to do.
okay. Great,
The
good
wreaths,
luck.
the wreaths look great.
Thank you. I still
Yes.
have 3 candles that I need to address, and the one down towards the bathrooms, the only one side is lit. That's why the cones are there, because I'm going up on the garbage truck tomorrow to find out where the plug is unplugged from.
No, I
it
said he
looks
could
beautiful.
start on
Well,
Monday,
thank you.
so if you good with that.
Well, do we have to, does he have to fill out paperwork and everything for Putnam County?
I don't,
I don't know what,
I don't
he
know,
has
that's a Jeff
paperwork he has to
question.
fill out before he can be hired.
Okay.
So
He
whatever,
did
talk
the
to Jeff tomorrow
application.
and
He did the county application, so I don't know if that's all he needs or whatever, but.
whatever is needed.
I'll talk to Jeff tomorrow, get it all straightened out.
Okay.
Okay?
Thanks,
Yep,
Bugsy.
thank you.
Thank you, folks.
When's he gonna be hired, next week or?
He said he can start as early as Monday.
Justice Court, fines, forfeited bails and civil penalties, $2,320, parking tickets, $2,150. They've gone way down since you haven't been. Civil fees, $245, mandatory state surcharges, $1,062, for a total of $5,777. Any report from trustees?
Are you going to talk about the tree lighting and Santa?
What's that?
Are you gonna talk about the tree lighting and Santa? They did a nice job.
They did a nice job. Yes, as always, I thought maybe the firemen would, actually be here or send something in. But, last year, I think it was the first year they borrowed, the fire company borrowed our, trailer
Yep.
and built a sleigh and, decorated that up. And then they bring Santa down, going down Main Street, where Santa greets the people or meets the people down there that are already assembled. So a couple of thank yous, one to them, they do a great job, and there's always a really good crowd down there. This year was a little bit colder, no, actually, last year was pretty
year was
nasty.
There was a
Yeah.
nice crowd.
Yeah,
It was, yeah.
there was a good crowd, and also thanks to the rec department, who's very short-handed. I think John Morandi and Steve Etta and Ruth Ann and her husband all chipped in and did the decoration down at the gazebo. I'd also like to thank Vera.
what?
The gazebo
Bandstand.
down at the bandstand, and also Vera, the Phillipstown Fruit Market donates a tree every year, so thank you to Vera once again. Everyone chipped into that. It was a really nice evening once again, and Dan Dillon also does the announcing, so thank you to Dan. Anything else?
Not at this point, no.
Okay, great. Next, we have to consider Resolution 30-2018, setting a time and place for a public hearing on proposed local law amending the Village of Cold Spring Code, Chapter 64, 111 and 134. Whereas the Village Board seeks to update the Village Code, Chapter 64, well, that's what I said there. Whereas the Village Board wishes to set a time and place for public hearing to consider the adoption of amendments regarding public hearings to chapters, sections 64-6, Historic District designation of historic landmarks and modifications to historic district boundaries, 64-12, Historic District public hearing requirements and procedures, 111-5, subdivision of land, approval of minor subdivision, and 111-7, subdivision of land, plat for major subdivisions, and 134-25, zoning procedures. Excuse me. Now therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Village Board hereby determines that it will be the lead agency with respect to the review of the proposed local law, the project, in accordance with New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, and Part 617 of the regulations implementing SECRA. Since there are no other agencies that have the authority to approve the project, and let it be further resolved, the Village Board hereby classifies the actions as an unlisted action under SECRA, and let it be further resolved that a public hearing be held by the Village Board in order to receive comments and suggestions regarding the proposed amendments to Village Code chapters, blah, 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 and to review any comments concerning the potential adverse environmental impacts of the proposed legislation in accordance with SECRA on January 8th, 2018 at 7 p.m. at the Village Hall located at 85 Main Street, Cold Spring, New York, And it is further resolved that the village clerk is hereby authorized and directed to cause said public notice of hereby hearings to be given as provided by law. I will make a motion to pass, to set the date for the public hearing for resolution 30-218.
Second?
Roll call?
Trustee Early,
Yes.
Trustee Murphy,
Yes,
Trustee Miller,
Yes,
Trustee Bellotto,
Yes.
Mayor Morandi.
Yes.
I have a question, it's not, should this be a 2019 resolution, since the meeting is January?
Well, we passed the resolution tonight,
Okay.
so I think it's a 2018.
Oh, the date on the bottom should be January 2019, on the resolution. So he has to amend that.
Yes, good eye, Fran.
There was a wait, how
I'll
about that?
communicate that to Jeff.
Do you have that, Michael?
I'm sorry, I was reading
On
something
the
else.
page, first page, down at the bottom, resolve, the last paragraph, last sentence, it has January 2018, it's 19.
Ah,
So we're approving it as amended. We're adopting it as amended.
okay.
Okay, correspondence, we do have one, this is sent from, residents of 5 Market Street. This is a long one, should I read this? Guess so.
We've read it.
Is that,
This is the second one,
this
the
is,
second one.
yes, it is the second letter, and there's been other complaints
Oh, yeah.
and from the residents regarding the tree and regarding the people that are doing the tree, and also the chair of the TAB. So, hello again, Jeff, and thanks for your quick response. As you know, we never did hear anything back from the mayor board of trustees. Thanks, though, for forwarding our letters to the village's insurance company. We heard back from Daniel Thomas at New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal just last week in time for Thanksgiving. I think there's a little sarcasm going on here. I just feel it. Maybe I'm reading into this wrong. We received both a letter dated the 13th saying he would be investigating the matter, and the 16th a letter saying he concluded that investigation and determined that the village of Cold Spring is not responsible for reimbursement of damages. Just a little backstory on this. This is there was the flooding, the last flooding. Bugsy's not here. I don't know what the date was when the river came up quite high. The generator went out that works a pump that's down on Market Street. And so, I don't know if that was the total cause or whatever, but what they're assuming is that there was water damage into their basements. This is a property that's in the lowlands down there, and that gets flooded. They at first requested payment for a washing machine. And then Jeff said we'd have to, and I talked this over with Jeff, and he sent this to our insurance company, obviously, it's where it would go. And they rejected it, and said that they would not pay for reimbursement. Since then, they've included a few other items. So I'll continue on, let's see. He concluded that investigation determined the village of Cold Spring is not responsible for reimbursement of damage. That his investigation reveals that there was no liability on the part of our insured, adding, since our insured was not responsible for the damage to your home, and there's absolutely no proof contrary to it, we will not issue any payment to you. We failed to see any negligence on part of our insured, and as such, we are denying the claim. Our denial is based upon the fact that due to flooding in the area, coupled with power failures, aggravated a situation in which our insured had no control over. That the village shouldn't be held responsible is, then we go to her opinion, or his and hers, that the village shouldn't be held responsible is ridiculous. And the fact that Dan Thomas failed to see any negligence on his part, a sign of incomplete investigation. At the time of the second flooding of our basement this summer, and since we were out of the state at the time, both our neighbors checked on our basement when they noticed there's taking on water and reported it accordingly. one of our neighbors escorted the crew chief, who was checking on area properties, to our basement and called us from there, asking if we had agreed to have our basement pumped out by Village, to which we agreed. He apologized to my husband at the time and explained to him that when there's a lot of rain, there's a generator that kicks on to purge the system low point of excess water. In this case, the generator didn't kick in, and in the end, a backup battery was found to have been defective, all of which would have prevented had the business responsible for maintaining the infrastructure involved actually done their job. And why wasn't this detected and resolved following the first failure and consequent flooding this summer? He made it very clear, very bold letters, clear that the malfunction and subsequent flooding to our property were due to negligence on the part of the business contracted. That's not the right word there. And shaking his head, he proceeded to pump out the 6 to 8 inches of water that had made its way to our basement. And remember that it wasn't long before this that we took on 3 inches. As I noted in our previous letter, the property loss my husband and I suffered was mostly extensive water damage to our collection of valuable woods. Joseph is a master craftsman woodworker. Some antique doors, sadly our entire record collection of old LPs, with none of these items being easily replaceable, if at all. Additionally, miscellaneous hardware items we kept in a cabinet were relegated to trash, and a washing machine malfunctioned as a result, and that we replaced. Expect reimbursement for and provide a receipt for In the meantime, my son had things related to his trade stored in canvas tool bag and poster tube. And when he made it up to check on things, all had gone bad. Here's his partial list of things lost. Additionally, a table he had delaminated. I don't know how that fit into a bag, but anyway, a Milwaukee 8-inch circular saw, a Milwaukee 8-inch impact driver, various Roscoe neutral density gels. These are all in the $200 area, 2 full 1,000 horse 20-yard or 1,000 each 20-yard tracing paper rolls, and Duptine bolt 40 yards. It's a big canvas bag. We now require full payment for our son's losses outlined above, along with the washing machine we needed to purchase for $479.85. Please let me know how the village administration chooses to proceed. We certainly hope and expect to have this resolved by the end of the year! Exclamation point. If I were a trustee, I would go after the crew that proved to be negligent in maintaining the battery generator. Thanks again, Jeff, for fielding the communications. Sincerely, Joe and Andrea.
What crew is she talking
I guess that would be the generator. I don't know.
Couple of thoughts.
Yes.
First of all, I guess she doesn't quite understand that when Jeffrey communicates with her, it's in the name of the board, so the board has responded to her a number of times anytime Jeff communicates. So it's not that we're ignoring her. If our insurance company says that we're not,
The insurance company.
if our insurance company says that they're not gonna pay this because it's not our fault, then shouldn't her insurance company kick in for this? Or shouldn't the insurance companies get together and sort of determine who's responsible for
about?
it?
Question.
I would think if we have an insurance company that's representing us and they believe, and that's just their job to investigate these, that we're not responsible, then I don't know why we would.
I feel for the people, but you live in a flood zone and you've got all this stuff in your basement, that doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense.
Especially if it's rare.
Especially if you've been flooded
It's valuable,
before.
yeah.
I would think that she should go back to her insurance company and submit the claim again, saying that, giving them the letter that our insurance company sent and saying, now it's back in your court. I don't see a problem with that unless, I don't know enough about this. I know what we read and I know what I would do.
Once again, I feel it's our representatives and people that are working on our behalf have stated this after their investigation,
Right.
and although she's not happy with that,
And that's.
or they are, I should say.
I don't understand what piece of equipment failed.
I guess there's a pump that goes continually, and then the power went out in that area, I guess, And
Goes
when that
in
went
the
out,
storm.
then a generator kicks
The
in.
backup battery didn't go.
And the generator didn't work, whether it was working before or it happened that day, I don't know.
How does that
specific.
pump our basement out is what I'm wondering.
Sorry, it's the water main. The issue is the water main back. I believe the issue is that the water main backed up into her basement.
But the whole area was
The
flooded at
pump,
the time, right?
the pump is supposed to keep the water main, the water in the water main moving so that it won't back up.
Mhm.
That pump, the generator for that pump apparently did not function correctly.
Okay.
So
But-
it wasn't water, it wasn't street, as I read this, it's not street water that she's complaining
No.
about.
No,
It's the water main water.
but how does she know which?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a water main water that's got in there because the surface water then comes in if it's not pumping it out.
Yeah, don't know.
All right,
Water
that's
main.
not clear.
I mean, I think Bugsy
How do you know
and
that?
crew went in and pumped out a couple of basements that day, and I think they did that. There was no responsibility for us to go in and pump the basements.
No,
They did it because they were being
Right.
nice to the residents down there, and unfortunately,
The fire company normally
the fire
pumps.
company,
did, yeah.
so between the,
Why don't I draft a letter for your review?
okay. But does everyone have any other thoughts on whether we should be
No.
overriding our insurance
No,
company?
no, no.
yeah,
We should,
we can't.
insurance company
I mean, if they-
evaluated it,
If they have more
Said it's-
information and they wanna resubmit it to
the
our
village
insurance.
is not negligent.
Yeah.
What was the address of that?
Excuse me?
Market, just find
Market.
market.
5 Market?
The
It
Bla-
is a
the Bla
designated
House,
flood
the-
zone, right?
Oh,
What's
I was-
that?
Oh,
It
yeah.
is a designated
Yes.
flood zone.
Oh, absolutely.
That's
So it's
what I
not
heard.
unreasonable to expect that your basement's gonna flood from time
And
to
they
time.
haven't, they've been there for a number of years, so I'm
They
sure
must
this
have flooded
isn't.
at Sandy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they
Oh,
had to have
definitely.
flooded at Sandy.
I think
Oh,
they've
definitely.
flooded
And
a
that
lot
was
of.
river flooding.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if they think
It's called the
there's,
Blue House. It's where,
if they think that there's other information and they want us to resubmit to our insurance company, we can do that and have a look at it again.
Sure.
Give a second opinion.
I think the Milkoviches may have lived there.
You cross over bridges like the second or third house down, right?
It's right across from Stevie's,
Yeah, okay.
from the
Close.
parking
West
lot,
side-
more
West
like.
side of
I know what
Milford.
you mean.
Anything else? So Marie will draft a letter to them on that. I would be interested to see what their insurance company says.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure they're not gonna pay for it either.
the letter isn't gonna suggest that they do
No,
anything,
no, I would
it's just,
just be interested.
I believe she submitted, I think there was some correspondence back that said her insurance company told them to submit it to us.
Oh, really?
And our insurance company says it's not our responsibility, so give it back to them.
Okay. Anything from the public? I will, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second.
All in favor?
aye.
Thank you, everyone.
So next week is the public hearing at 7.
It's at 7 and 6:45 we're meeting with the rec.
Yes, yeah.
6:45 we're meeting with the rec committee next week. 7 o'clock for the public hearing, 7:30 recording.
You should do it.